you want to make sure that you're clicked in the Spotify sheet. And I'm going to zoom in, not too much because we're going to be adding charts below our information. So the first thing that we're going to do is format our data tables. For the Spotify Q2 2020 user stats, we're going to select A1 through C1, merge and center, bold it. For the whole sheet, we're going to click here between A and 1 and go ahead and change your font. You choose. I'm just going to choose a real quick one here. All right. For our column headings, we're going to wrap the text, bold it, center it, and fill it a color. So the reason that we're wrapping it instead of making it big is because monthly active users is really long and the numbers are pretty small, and subscribers is also pretty short too. So select B2 through C2, bold, fill it a color, your choice. I'm going to shake it up here and do a different color than I normally do. Oh, what's Spotify? Spotify's like green, isn't it? And maybe I'll keep it black. And then we're going to click wrap text. Now notice that it kind of pops subscribe on one line and ers on the other. So even with wrap text, sometimes you need to adjust the column width. And same thing here. I'm going to have it say monthly and then active users. So with those two selected, I'm going to center this way and then readjust my column, my row height, so that way I don't have those extra spaces. All right, if you click an A4, you'll notice that it just says 2018 while all the other ones say Q2 2018. So go up here and click in the formula bar and add Q2 plus or Q2 space, and then just seal it by pressing enter. Same thing here. Wouldn't it make sense to go from 138 to 18 to 232 to 299? Something must have really happened in 2018, so that number is wrong. So we're going to chart it at 180. Okay. Down here in A7, we're going to type average. Put averages. And select B3 through B7. Release your mouse. Go up here and choose the down arrow beside auto sum and choose average. This time, click in B7. We're going to use our fill handle to fill it across. So in subscribers, it'll change the column letter from B3 to B6. It would average C3 through C6. Let's add a outside border here. Or for this one, let's do all borders. Okay, so we're going to chart we want to make sure we include the column headings and the row headings and the information, but not the averages or the title. So like I said in the previous video, you want to include enough information, but not too much. Select A2 through C6. This time we're going to make a line chart. So go to Insert, Line, and let's choose one that gives us markers. Okay, so once I have this chart made, I'm going to move it here below the data. So move it to A9. Yeah, we can probably do to the middle of F there. Now, it doesn't make sense to me that Spotify users or subscribers would go down in 2020. So I went and did some research, and realized that my number here, 32, was wrong. So remember, you can just over type. So just click in cell C6 and type 138. And if you notice, it updated my chart as well. Again, because the chart range was whatever in cells A2 through C6. All right, so for the title, we're just gonna, and Q2 means, okay. So the blue was the monthly active users and the orange was the subscribers. So let's go ahead and move the legend this time to the top of the chart because it kind of gets lost at the bottom. So click in your chart, go to chart design, add chart format, legend. It's already there, so we don't need to click it. We're just going to choose top there. Okay. And this chart doesn't really show the gradual increase in the number of subscribers very much. So we're going to change the vertical axis here. So click on the vertical axis, and if something doesn't pop up over here, go ahead and double click. And you should see format axis. So we're going to have it end at 325. And our major unit in our chart is going to be 25. So don't worry about if when we type 325, this goes to a negative. We'll fix that. So that worked a little bit. Maybe let's make the maximum 300 just to show a little bit more. Still not showing this very much, but really it's only went from 59 to 138, which is a good increase, but let's try this. Let's change our minimum to 50. Since it starts at 59, let's put the minimum at 50 and the maximum at 300 and the major unit at 25. So the minimum is your number down here. Your maximum is going to be your number up here. And the major unit is how much it goes by. Does it count by? How much does your axis count by? We also want to add data labels. Just put them above there. Let's say to not show the axis. So under axis, let's say to not show the axis, because really this kind of speaks for itself. And we couldn't put one unit over here. It wouldn't be users and it wouldn't be subscribers. Click on these lines and we could say no line. That would kind of clean up our chart a little bit as well. So how did I do that? I clicked on the lines, not the plot area. Click on one of the lines. Now it says format major grid lines, and under fill, I said no line. I think that chart is good, except for we could change the colors. Let's change the colors. I'm wondering if we made this chart kind of darker, like one of these chart designs, if it would help. But if I choose one of these, it's going to add all that stuff back to it, and I don't want that. So I'm just going to go to the home ribbon and go to fill. I just click the outside of my chart. I like kind of the whole chart. All right, and we have our first chart done. Now let's do the subscribers by region. So this time, just to throw you off, I actually put the information in H instead of G. So you do the same thing. You're just going to select H and G, merge and center, then double click between G and H so that you can see North America, Latin America, rest of the world, Europe. And we're going to do a pie chart. So we want these to look like percentages. So click percent. Let's just go ahead and bold this. And maybe just bold and right align these. All right. So select G2 through H2. Go to Insert, Pie, 2D Pie. Okay. Double click. I'm going to add Spotify. Now, first of all, I do not like these colors. And because we have the office color scheme selected, it's just going to give us these horrible colors. I guess we could roll with it. We could try blues. Looks better than the other one, but still not my favorite. But whatever. Okay, so then let's go up here and choose one of these preset designs. That is something that we have not done yet. And that gives us all the things that we really want. Instead of having a legend here, I wanted to say what these are in the chart. So click on one of the data labels and it should select them all. And now it should say Format Data Labels and go over here to Chart and Label Options. You want to click Category Name. This is the only problem is those two are right next to one another. If I just click Rest of World and just kind of move it down a little bit. So I kind of had to click it twice. We could have done two. You could, under label options under chart, you could choose label position and it could be, if you select all of them. I just had one selected. So I could have just done that for rest of the world, but it'd probably be easier if they were all selected. So just click out of them and then click on them and then choose outside end, and that will help. You can make this chart just a hair bigger so we have a little bit more room. And then one thing you can do is you can click on, so Europe has the most Spotify subscribers by region. So if I click Europe, then they're all selected. So if I click Europe again, just Europe is selected and I can just pull it out just a little bit, just to kind of show that that's the bigger piece of the pie, kind of brings your attention to it. And that is it, guys. So go up here and hit save. And then make sure that you submit the file, not a screenshot, but the file, so that way I can look at both sheets.